Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net with today's Disney Fast Facts. Today we've got your fun fast facts about Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Back in the 1960s, when Walt Disney World was in the planning stages, Disney management had the bold plan of building 5 resort hotels surrounding Seven Seas Lagoon. The Contemporary Resort and Polynesian Village hotels were the only ones completed ahead of the 1973 oil crisis. Travel was curtailed, hotel occupancy dropped, and Disney shelved any plans for additional hotels. It would be 15 years before any additional hotels were constructed. When the construction of Epcot Center was underway, the Disney company knew it was time to start building new hotels to handle the increased crowds. Sometime around 1980, it was announced that 3 new hotels would be built at Walt Disney World to coincide with the opening of Epcot in 1982. But it was in 1984, when Michael Eisner took over as chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company, that things kicked into high gear. Exposed to art and architecture at an early age, out-of-the-box architecture was part of Eisner's Disney decade. His view was to produce groundbreaking entertainment through architecture that kept the Disney magic going after people left the parks. The location for Wilderness Lodge held certain advantages for Disney management in that it was close enough to Magic Kingdom to have an appeal for guests, but it wasn't on the monorail line, so it didn't add any additional stops. It was perfect for guests who wanted to be near the action without necessarily being in the middle of it. Peter Dominick Jr. was the design principal. Growing up in Colorado, Dominick was an avid outdoorsman and noted fisherman. That background translated his love and passion and deep understanding of the West into his architecture. To design Wilderness Lodge, he visited all of the great hotels of America's national park system, extrapolating what he loved most about each. His team took extensive tours of national parks including Yellowstone, Glacier, and Yosemite. The original design intention was to bring the magic of the unspoiled Pacific Northwest wilderness and its rustic national park architecture to a flat and wooded 100-acre site in Central Florida. The other person who was very involved in the design process was Michael Eisner. Mr. Eisner insisted on attending each design presentation at each stage of the design process. Groundbreaking occurred in August 1992 and the hotel was completed by 1994. Unlike other construction projects on the Disney World property, the available site dictated the placement, shape, and position of the hotel, which is constrained on all 3 sides by 2 acres of wetlands. As with every themed area at a Disney park or resort, the plants and trees were carefully researched to assure they were appropriate for the setting. The plants and flowers and shrubs that were chosen had to resemble those that would be found in the Pacific Northwest, but would be well suited to the Florida climate. As guests turn onto Timberline Drive from World Drive, they pass through an archway, and after a few minutes through the trees, the first view of Wilderness Lodge begins to appear. The psychology suggests a pathway to an isolated retreat destination, along with a view of Bay Lake. The Wilderness Lodge is designed to resemble an old timber lodge. Walking through the main entrance, a soaring 6-story lobby reveals itself. There really isn't one main focal point. Your mind's going to be in awe taking in the 4 6-story high columns of bundled logs, the stone fireplace, the hand-carved totem poles, and the 4 teepee chandeliers. They're all equally impressive. What also appears to be a small pond in the lobby flows under a bridge, outside of the lobby, down a hill, down a waterfall, and finds its final destination in the resort's swimming pool. The stone fireplace is the only element in the lobby that is fabricated and depicts the many layers of the Grand Canyon. Due to the laws restricting the removal of materials from the national parks, the fireplace was constructed and sculpted in place by artisans using similar materials. To get a true level of authenticity, a paleontologist was hired to spend time in the Grand Canyon and document the strata and fossils. He then directed the construction of the fireplace at the lodge, including inserting actual fossils into the correct strata. The two 55-foot totem poles, which are on either side of the lobby as you enter, are known for the animals on top of each of them, as the eagle totem pole near the registration desk, and as the raven totem pole near the Whispering Canyon Cafe. Traditionally, Native Americans in the Northwest were able to trace their lineage back to either the Raven clan or the Eagle clan, and so those two have represented many of the tribes throughout the years. The guest rooms all feature carved headboards and cabinetry. The throws over the beds feature Native American-inspired textiles. The headboards and the guest room fabrics are all inspired from Native American Indian tribes. As with all great architectural designs, there were a few design challenges along the way. For instance, designers wanted to place an intricately carved inlay to the entry door. But there was the issue of the fire codes. They eventually figured out how to make the design work and still remain fire compliant. One of the hidden gems of this property is the Carolwood Pacific Room. Never heard of it? Well, it's a sitting room named after Walt Disney's Backyard Railroad. The room overflows with artifacts, photographs, and art depicting Walt's fascination with trains and the railroad. The highlight of the room are two actual train cars donated by Walt's daughter, Diane Disney Miller. These two cars were a part of Walt's own backyard railroad at his Holmby Hills home. And because, why not, you can check out the 120-foot Fire Rock Geyser, which spouts every hour on the hour from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you walk from the lodge to the back of the pool, there's a walkway to watch the geyser. It's not only fun, but it's really kind of a wilderness lodge rite of passage. Here's some quick tips for Disney's Wilderness Lodge. You can take a short boat ride to get to Magic Kingdom. Every night, Artist Point Restaurant turns into an enchanted forest and becomes host to Storybook Dining with Snow White. Head down to the boat dock around 9:30 p.m. for a great view of the electric water pageant. And there's your Disney Fast Facts about Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Oh, that lobby. So immediately immersive, and it's one of our top resorts when it comes to having a fun explore day with the family. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. We'd also love for you to jump over to AllEars.net and write a review about this resort. You can review any ride, resort, restaurant, or anything else that begins with an R. Your review helps others plan a better trip. If you like this video, please click on that thumbs up. Be sure to stay tuned to AllEars TV and AllEars.net for more Disney news, fun, and stuff. And follow us on Instagram at AllEars.net. New to the channel? Check out our other AllEars videos right here. And please subscribe to AllEars.net. Clang the little notification bell so you immediately get notified when we post a new video. This is Chris for AllEars TV. See you next time.